Aloha, I'm Reverend Blaine Higa of the Kona Honganji Buddhist Temple. Thank you for taking the time to listen to the Dharma. Today, we observe Gotan-E, which is the birthday of Shinran Shonin, who is the founder of Shin Buddhism. Born on May 21st, 1173, Shinran would be 847 years old today. Yet despite the many centuries separating us from Shinran, his teachings are timeless and continue to offer us wisdom for living compassionately in our modern world. Shinran's life and teachings are revolutionary and represent one of the most significant developments in the history of Buddhism. Before his time, spiritual liberation was reserved only for the privileged few who were wealthy or educated. Shinran taught that all people were equally embraced by Amida Buddha's infinite wisdom and compassion, and would attain enlightenment through the Nembutsu. Shin Buddhism offers a radical path of spiritual liberation for all people because no one is excluded or left behind. This is why we remember Shinran on his birthday and are indebted to him for revealing the truth of Amida Buddha's compassionate vow working in our lives. We will begin with the Vandana and Tisarana, offering praise and taking refuge in the three treasures of the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha. Please join me. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Homage to him, the exalted one, the enlightened one, the supremely awakened one. Buddham saranam gacchami, Dhammam saranam gacchami, Sangham saranam gacchami. I go to the Buddha for guidance. I go to the Dharma for guidance. I go to the Sangha for guidance. Namo Amida Buddha, Namo Amida Buddha, Namo Amida Buddha, Namanda Buddha, Namanda Buddha, Namanda Buddha, Namanda Buddha. Sutra is a Sanskrit word that means thread, and it is these words that connect us to the truth of life found in the Dharma. The Ju-Seige, or verses reaffirming the vows, is a poetic summary of the basic intention of the 48 vows made by Amida Buddha to attain supreme enlightenment, to save all who are suffering, and to declare universal salvation through the name Namo Amida Butsu. This is the foundation of the Pure Land path taught to us by Shinran Shonin. We chant these words of the Buddha from the larger Pure Land Sutra as a reminder of these great vows made to awaken all beings. Let's offer our voices in praise and in gratitude for the Buddha's virtues. The Ju-Seige. 世願非死無浄土志願不満足成不上昇が我を無量語不意大聖種不採小便具成不上昇が我至上仏道妙正長寺法苦行未所門成不上昇が利欲人少年上映主本行死具無浄土一生天人師人力現代語不生無才道少女三苦妙交際主役難回避知恵言滅死根門案閉塞小悪道通達全宗門高僧上満蔵異様老寺法日月主樹期天候不言一種解放像公正独法上大主樹説法四識供養一切分具足主徳本元年心上満徳意三害用如仏無下知通達未不詳願学へ利投資最小尊志願や効果大仙の感動国書天人東真妙言ナマンナブナマンナブナマンナブナマンナブナマンナブナマンナブがにしくどく平等正義祭道本 Namandabu, 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 namandabu. Today, we celebrate the birth of Shinran Shonin, the founder of Shin Buddhism, who was born 847 years ago in 12th century Japan. As I think about Shinran's life, and as I read his writings, I'm amazed at the depth of spiritual insight he had into our human condition and his immense knowledge of the Dharma. However, he never thought of himself as a great teacher, but rather as a humble disciple of Honen Shonin, who gratefully received and shared what he had learned. Although we give him the title of Shonin, which means great teacher, Shinran called himself Gutoku, which means unshaven, ignorant one, because when he looked deeply into his own heart and mind, he realized his limitations and the profound ignorance that existed within him. He said, "Through hearing the shinjin of the wise, the heart of myself, Gutoku becomes manifest. The shinjin of the wise is such that they are inwardly wise, outwardly foolish. The heart of Gutoku is such that I am inwardly foolish and outwardly wise." I take comfort in Shinran's remarkable candor in truly knowing himself, and that it was because of this imperfections that he was made whole through the Buddha's compassion. Gotoku was an appropriate name for someone who had gone so far in life and then who had everything come crashing down around him. Seeing himself clearly in the light of Amida Buddha's wisdom and compassion, he acknowledges and embraces his bombu, or foolish nature, and finds spiritual freedom. History remembers Shinran for all his great accomplishments. We talk about Shinran as a radical reformer who turned his back on the traditional Buddhism of his time and found a path that everyone could follow. We also describe him as an accomplished scholar who spent 20 years on Mount Hiei studying the Buddha Dharma. We also revere him as an accomplished poet and writer. However, what we often forget is to talk about Shinran as a man, as an ordinary human being who saw and experienced life in an extraordinary way. Many years ago, I read the book The Monk Who Dared, a historical novel about Shinran, by the late Ruth Tabra. This historical fiction brings to life Shinran's early years as a young priest from the age of 9, his 20 years of study on Mount Hiei, leaving the mountain and joining Honen Shonin at 29, and his exile in Echigo at 35. What was most interesting to me was learning about a man who faced many of the same struggles and spiritual distresses that we face even today. For 20 years on Mount Hiei, Shinran practiced many disciplines and rigorously followed the rules of the monastery. However, despite all his knowledge and mastery of the Dharma, he felt like a failure. Even after 20 years of intense study and practice, he was no closer to his goal of reaching enlightenment than when he first started. He became anxious about his ultimate destiny, and we know from his various writings that he left the mountain and entered a period of intense meditation at Rokakudo Temple in Kyoto. After almost 100 days there, he received the spiritual insight to visit Honen Shonin, who was proclaiming the sole practice of Nembutsu, the recitation of Amida Buddha's name, as the way of salvation. During his time on Mount Hiei, Shinran began to realize that all the contemporary forms of Buddhism did not guarantee equal salvation for all people like the Buddha had originally intended. Salvation was, at the time, based on social status, education, and the ability to pay for rituals to earn merit in the afterlife. Shinran began to question everything about this tradition, and spiritual angst and doubt consumed his life. When he reached Honen and became his disciple, Shinran felt that his spiritual destiny was secure. However, through government persecution, the Nembutsu teaching was banned, and Honen, Shinran, and other disciples were banished from Kyoto. It was in exile that Shinran truly began to understand the compassionate vow of Amida Buddha as it worked in real life. Since Shinran was no longer a privileged monk, he lived among the peasants of Echigo and learned firsthand the struggles of everyday life. While in exile, Shinran described himself as neither priest nor layman. He married, raised a family, and in struggling to live, he began to understand the realities of human existence. Through his experiences, Shinran gained a deeper understanding of the teachings and how they worked in ordinary, everyday life. This led to his radical reinterpretation of Buddhism and religion as a whole. The following is a passage from the book which captures the essence of what he learned in exile. Tabra shares, "Next morning, the waking chorus of birds nesting on the ancient pine roused him. Briefly, but only briefly, he considered hurrying to Kotagahama to listen to the morning service. No, it was too far, and he remembered to himself to be in or near a traditional temple was not a necessity. Wherever the Nembutsu is uttered, that place is a temple, Master Genku had taught him." Shinran descended the ladder from the loft and went out into the dark pre-dawn world. Namo Amida Butsu, he chanted to the stars, to the pine tree, to the silent world around him. It felt to him as if, in that simple homage, he faced and praised the Buddha and his teachings. The fragrance of the spring air was this morning like the fragrance of the Dharma. Hands clasped, palms together, Shinran bowed and repeated the 3 homages to Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha, then the Nembutsu that connected him with the ceaseless, timeless workings of the primal vow's unconditional enlightenment. Hearing his own fervent Namo Amida Butsu resound through the small clearing this morning, it seemed to Shinran his voice and the Buddha's voice became one. What a limitless term was Namu. It flowed into him, from him, affirming the interdependence of himself with all life, all who existed, and with the wisdom and compassion that was the limitless inconceivability of the primal vow. A sense of deep calm pervaded him as he chanted from memory the verses from the passage from the larger Pure Land Sutra in which Shakyamuni seemed to be speaking directly to him. In counterpoint to his chanting, the chorus of birds escalated as if they too were giving homage. What an amazing way to live with a profound awareness of our connection to all life and to timeless reality that is Amida Buddha. Everyone equally embraced by the working of the Buddha's wisdom and compassion, a teaching so simple that even a person who could not read or write could understand and take refuge in. That wherever the Nembutsu is uttered, that place is a temple, and that the Nembutsu said by priests, nobles, commoners, and even outcasts of society was the same because we are all one within the Buddha's vow. In Shin Buddhism, living our ordinary everyday life is our practice. The Nembutsu is found wherever our journey takes us. when we listen to the teachings, take them into our lives, and then when conditions mature, we naturally open ourselves up to the embrace of Amida's primal vow. This assurance of the Buddha's love enables us to live courageously and compassionately, without fear or doubt, and with peace and gratitude in our hearts. How amazing life can be when we entrust in Amida's vow and truly live the Nembutsu. Shinran Shonin showed us the way by living his life as authentically as possible. Can we do the same? Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu. Over 500 years ago, Renyo Shonin, who was the 8th spiritual leader of the Honganji, wrote a collection of letters known as the GotanSha. Written to Nembutsu followers, these letters help to clarify Shinran's teachings by sharing their essence in plain language. These letters are often read during our services. The letter, Matsudai Muchi no Sho, or those lacking wisdom in the latter age, encourages us to entrust in Amida Buddha and to say the Nembutsu throughout our lives. Matnai muchi no zaige shiju no nanyo taran tomogara wa kokoro o hitotsu ni shite Amida Buddha fukaku tanomi mairasete Sarani yo no kata e kokoro furazu isshin ikko ni butasuke tamae to mosan shujoba. Tatoi zaigo wa jinju nari tomo kanarazu mida nyorai wa sukui mashimasu beshi. Kore sunawachi dai 18の念仏の上の誓願の心なり。核のごとく献上しての上には寝ても覚めても命のあらん限りは称名念仏べきものなり。花かしご、花かしご。Laymen and laywomen in the latter age who lack wisdom should deeply rely on Amida Buddha with singleness of heart, entrusting themselves to the Buddha single-mindedly and unwaveringly for their emancipation, without turning their thoughts to other matters. However deep and heavy their evil karma may be, Amida Tathagata unfailingly saves them. This is the essence of the 18th vow that assures our birth in the Pure Land through the Nembutsu. Once our heart is thus settled, we should say the Nembutsu, whether awake or sleep, for as long as we live, humbly and respectfully. Namanda, 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 Namanda. Please join me in Gassho as we conclude with the singing of the Nembutsu. Namo Amida, Namo Amida, Namo Amida Buddha, Namo Amida Buddha, Namo Amida, Namo Amida Buddha, Namo Amida Buddha, Namo Amida Buddha, Namo Amida Buddha, Namanda Buddha, Namanda Buddha, Namanda Buddha, Namanda Buddha, Namanda. Thank you very much for listening. Please take care and be well. Mahalo.